Hey, Tree Sprites. So, this is the official announcement for the Forging Bonds workshop. This event is aimed at recreating the foundation of the relationships between Black women and will be held on Saturday, March 29th at 3 p.m. Pacific and 6 p.m. Eastern. For Black women, our creation and actualization abilities are powerfully magnified when we are in community with one another, and especially when we love our own reflection in each other. That being said, today I want to dive deep on the concept and the definitions of the witch and the coven. We have undergone so much patriarchal religious indoctrination that the very concept of the witch has been heavily associated with malevolence, evil, and malintent. But what is a witch really? What makes one a witch? When you remove all of the negative associations and connotations to the word, it seems to be, at its root, someone who was either born or throughout their life cultivated superhuman abilities and have a close connection with the natural environment. It also appears to be someone who is able to influence the natural flow of the energy of the cosmos and of the earth through their words. And as a side note, when referring to Black American Solani women, the correct term would be root worker. But I'm going to use the word witch since it is a commonly used and understood word when referring to powers and humans. So Black women naturally have a deep connection to Earth and Earth's natural systems, which is one of the many reasons why we tend to be so sick in this country, because of the forced disconnection. And then within our church communities, we seem to understand it and not have an issue with it when people obviously have spiritual gifts. Natural spiritual gifts that under any other circumstance would be considered magic. Why do we use the phrase Black girl magic if magic is associated with witches and witches are allegedly bad? We understand that the tongue is a sword. The elders in our community are always saying to watch your mouth and watch your words. We speak life over each other. How is this really different from spell work? It's interesting how we embrace all of these witch-adjacent concepts and terms, and yet simultaneously reject the full embodiment of the entirety of the witch. If there is a tendency for Black women to naturally possess these abilities, as well as are becoming superhuman through the pressures of the world, are Black women natural witches? And is that the real reason why the world has chosen us as the primary source to harvest energy from? It is abundantly apparent now that the world has this seemingly juxtaposed relationship with Black women. The world loves what we create, what we produce, loves our energy, loves our love, loves our support, and at the same time disregard, fear, and envy us. We are commonly simultaneously treated like a disposable friend and as a powerful threat. I am especially fascinated in the fear of the rage of the Black woman, because in the pursuit of liberation of all women, rage and anger is seen as productive, is seen as revolutionary, except for when it comes from Black women. Like, are we finna go Super Saiyan? Does everybody else know this about us except for us? Because it seems that when we go extreme, we go cosmic, we go supernova. Is this a reason why our emotions are weaponized against us in such a way as to influence us not to show them, to repress them? Also, considering how Black women have the highest rates of fibroids, likely due to a combination of intergenerational trauma, ongoing chronic stress, environmental toxins, and ongoing energy repression, because the space of the womb is our center of creation, not only of human life, but of all things. What is it about Black women existing in a stress-free, joyful state that just seems to bother people? Our energy in a high vibration state is powerful, is magnetic. Are Black women the philosopher's stones of humanity? And getting back to the concept of the witch or the root worker, when we pull all of our energy inward, that is when we create most authentically. And when we do it together, when we build that coven coalition between root-working Black women, We are at our greatest capacity to create and destroy. We hold the keys to realities and dimensions inside of us. It is in fact because we have a natural tendency to not use our abilities for malevolence that these oppressive power systems have been able to thrive for so long, hijacking our energy, our abilities, and using them against us, stealing our creations, our intellect, our ideas. What if everything in our world was just a battle of witches and warlocks, with those currently in power trying desperately to see how long their spell, their curse is going to hold? Regardless of your stance on energy and spirituality, it's fun to think about. And in terms of using play and imagination to invoke revolution, what if we just started to pretend that we were a great coven capable of changing the world? What if we just imagined that we had the ability, the power to shift our reality? All great things start as tiny seeds of the Mind Tree Sprite. I'd love to see what would happen. Subscribe to Black Barn Owl, link in the bio, and I'll see you in Always.